All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first class of fall 2020. This is Human Behaviors in the Social Environment. This is a course taught by myself, Professor Angela Banks. I am an MSW and LSW in the state of Pennsylvania. This class is taught through Westchester University Social Work Department. So with that being said, I'm not going to use that transition for the remainder of this video. I got some sound feedback from my first video, which I'm super excited about, but we'll jump right into our PowerPoint presentation as well as our lecture for today. I'm going to share my screen. You guys all set up with our class for today. So welcome officially. I know I had our first video, but this is official to Social Work 350. That's Human Behaviors in the Social Environment. I've already said my name. I've already said where I'm teaching from. So let's talk about this week's agenda. So for week one, we'll talk about some formatting reminders for our course. We'll talk about an introduction to HBSE 1 to get you guys excited and thinking about what course content are we going to be discussing this semester if you haven't already read your syllabus. I'll also go over some tips that will be important for navigating D2L as it relates to our course. And I'll also talk about your course syllabus. I will not go word for word in your syllabus. You guys have had it over the weekend, so you've had some time to go over it, review some of the updates as it relates to our formatting and the university's expectations. So I'll go over some key points as well as our assignments. But I'm expecting that you guys are all social work students. You guys are all professionals in this field, so reading is fundamental. You have to read. Lastly, we'll talk about what you guys can expect for this week, this upcoming week. So, class formatting reminders. On Mondays, the same way that you guys were able to access this lecture on YouTube, you'll be able to access all of our lectures throughout the semester. So Mondays at 4 p.m., the course lecture will be posted on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. I recommend that you just subscribe to it so then that way you don't miss any lectures. Refer to the weekly content tabs in D2L to find some additional reading materials in addition to what you see on your syllabus. Your textbook for this course is Understanding Human Behaviors in the Social Environment. This is the 10th edition. Our syllabus says that you need the 11th edition. However, this book is used for both 350 and 351. So I recommend purchasing it. But if you are not able to get the 11th edition, you can get the 10th and you can get the 9th. They all adhere to our course content for this course. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Other materials such as journal articles or films or other resources will be provided to you on D2L. So I'll show you guys within this lecture how to access all of those resources. On Wednesday at 4 p.m., the course discussion board prompt will be available on D2L. So I'm expecting that you guys will respond to the prompt and reply to 2 peer responses by Sunday at 10 p.m. So with this, participation is a must. I will be going on there weekly on Sundays and Mondays to review what content did you guys discuss? How did you answer the prompts? This allows for engagement on everyone's end. You'll get to engage with your peers, I'll get to engage with you, and you might also get a shout out, in our videos as we talk about our lectures through our YouTube channel. This also allows for asynchronous formatting for our course. So you'll be able to, view the YouTube channel, pause, rewind, get content over. So it works out a little bit, better for you depending on the type of student that you are. I'm thinking that it will work out just as effectively and efficiently as if we were in our course Monday and Wednesday from 4:25 to 5:15. So we'll make do. This also might lead to some questions about how are we going to handle our group presentations, and I will discuss that during our syllabus reviews. I also want you guys to be able to use our YouTube channel effectively. I want you guys to be able to respect each other. If you would like to leave comments as I'm teaching, if you want to put timestamps for students to pay attention to certain things because you're that type of student, feel free. This is your channel. You can do with it what you want within constraints of being respectful and mindful of everyone in our class. So, introduction to human behaviors in the social environment 1. So if you guys have reviewed your syllabus, for the most part, you already have the answers to these questions. But I'm going to ask you, what is human behaviors in the social environment? Take a minute, write it down, write what your initial thoughts are, write what you initially think about when you hear the words human behaviors, and then possibly write down what you think about when you hear the word social environment. And then how do those two relate? So the next question I want you guys to ask yourself to build on those critical thinking skills. Why is HBSE important to generalist social work? So why is it important to learn about human behaviors? Why is it important to know about social environments? What do I need that for within my work within the field of social work? How is that going to potentially help me with client systems? Next question I want you to ask yourself is, what topics can I expect to learn about? What things interest me within human behaviors, within the social environment? What things am I interested in as it relates to human behaviors in the social environment and generalist practice social work? Am I interested in more micro levels of social work? In that case, what things do I need to take into account when it comes to individuals within their social environment? At the same time, if I'm a social worker who's interested in more macro level social work, what things do I need to pay attention to when I'm working with organizations and they take into account human behaviors of their client systems that they're servicing in their social environments? So as you think about these things, they all start to come together. And in social work, some of our content will be similar across classes, across, even programs. But just know that these things are all important to our field. That's why you hear them so often. That's why you hear about change theories and models and methods. This is important. So these are the things that you can expect to learn. Navigating D2L. So with that, I'm going to go to D2L and show you guys how to navigate it. So at this point in time, you all should have access to Westchester's D2L, as well as my course. Here's my course, Human Behaviors in the Social Environment, Fall SWO 350 for 2020. Amazing year, right? So when you first come to our page, you'll notice that there will be announcements. I already have posted the first announcement to give you guys some insight into our YouTube channel, to welcome you to our course, and to give you guys some information as to when to expect the course syllabus. So I want to point out a few things. Here you notice that you'll have access to all your upcoming assignments and their due dates. You'll also have access to the quizzes, which I will be posting as we go through our semester, and you'll get more information about. But if you click them, it'll actually allow you to submit. So this will keep you guys on task. This will let you know whatever deadlines are coming up. At the same time, you have to do the work to make sure that you are visiting the D2L page and staying up to date with announcements as well as content. So with content, this is where you'll find your weekly PowerPoint lectures as well as information regarding required readings for that week. So in our overview, we already have our syllabus, which I will go over. And you'll also notice that we have week 1. So for week 1, I've already uploaded the prompt that you all have access to. As soon as I can move my face out the way, thank you. All right, so you'll see a note. This will be the normal formatting of the notes that you'll see in the weekly sections within the content tab. Each week corresponds with that current week. So as we are in week 1, these are the expectations for the entirety of week 1. So you'll see that for week 1, you're required to read theoretical perspectives on human behavior within chapter 1. There's also a link here to read the Code of Ethics and Profession of Social Work. So if you click there, it will actually take you to that page. I'll go back. And then you'll notice that on Wednesday, you'll be required to return to D2L to visit the discussion board to respond to the prompt and reply to 2 peers by Sunday at 10 p.m. So how do you access the discussion board? Funny you should ask. Thank you for asking that question. If you go to Communications tab in Discussions, you'll notice that you already have the discussion board ready and available for you to answer. So this is not a drill. You are expected to answer this discussion board between today, when this video is released, and between Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. This will not only allow me to test you to make sure that you're reviewing our lectures, but it will also allow you to get acquainted with how to navigate D2L in our class for this semester. So I'm not just doing this to be a jerk. I'm doing this to help you guys. So for our first class discussion board, you'll notice, welcome again to HBSE 1 for our first discussion board and to get to know everyone and to get everyone acquainted with one another in this new formatting. Please answer the following prompt. What's the youngest age you remember an important event happening in your life? For example, me, myself, your professor, I can remember at age 3 going to Head Start for the first time. Head Start is a subsidized preschool, and we'll talk about subsidies in preschools and around that age within this course content. But I remember going there and being a scared kid. I cried a lot. I didn't know what to expect. I missed my friends. I missed my home, and it was all new to me. So that's why I think I remember that memory so vividly. The next question in that prompt is, what was important about this event? So as you think about yourself and you think about that age that you had, that important event that you can remember, think about why was it important to you? What does it make you remember? What do you recall about that time? Think about those things. Next, explain how might this event somehow still play a part in your current life experiences? So I know myself, going to Head Start at a new school at the age of 3, and now being a PhD student and going into a new experience, while I can't burst out into tears, although I could, but that's probably not professional. I am now at an age and have gone through life experiences where I am able to reflect, whereas 3-year-old Angela could not reflect in the same manner. So think about those things. Next, how might similar life experience impact client systems within the field of social work? So tying that in all together, if you're the social worker for 3-year-old Angie, how might you interpret her bursting out into tears as soon as she walks into her Head Start classroom? How might you engage with 3-year-old Angela? What types of resources or thought patterns might come up within your work with 3-year-old Angela versus 31-year-old Angela going into a PhD program, not bursting out into tears, but having that same sort of excitement and newness? How might you engage with her? What techniques or tips or things might you think about providing to her when working with her? That's just an example, but think about yourself and answer the discussion board prompt. Again, it's open currently. You could pause this video and answer it now if you like. That's the leisure of our class this semester. But please note that it will be closed on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., no exceptions. Discussion boards are mandatory. They are what pretty much determines your participation in professional behaviors grade to a certain extent. So there's no way to get around it. So jumping right on to the next tab that you guys will most definitely be interested in is your grades. So if you go to the assessments tab and you actually look, you'll see that our assignments have already been posted. So you'll see the social history assignment is worth 15% of your grade, the life observation um, assignment, and so on and so forth. So all of those things are already available. So you'll be able to keep up with your current grades. I will say that while you can absolutely submit your assignments whenever it is convenient for you as you complete them, that does not mean that I will grade them as soon as you submit them. I will be grading assignments on the same timeline as they are expected to be submitted. So I do not fault anyone if you are an overachieving student who wants to get things done. But if you are that student who gets things done at the last minute, please get it done before the deadline. I will be a stickler for late assignments. I have to stay on track of my courses as much as you guys need to stay on track with your courses. So if you're not able to submit assignments on a timely manner, I need to be aware of that prior to the deadline. There's no exceptions on that either. So jumping in to our syllabus, which you can find in the content section in the overview. And like I said, I will not talk about this word for word because you guys have already been able to review it. And you're all professionals within this lovely field of social work. And I know that you are readers. So this is a 3-credit course for social work majors only. There are some exceptions that you can see noted in our syllabus. There were also some prerequisites to taking this course. So there are expectations to some of those bases, those foundational frameworks within social work that you are expected to know at this point. My contact information is here for you. I also have available open office hours for you all from 4 to 5 p.m. on Mondays. This would have been our normal meeting class time. However, if this does not work for your schedule, please feel free to send me an email, shoot me a text to let me know to try to schedule something. So, course description. So human behavior in social environment 1 examines life stages of prenatal development through adolescence with an emphasis on micro-meso theories of human behavior from ecological systems perspectives. So this is a blanket statement for we're going to discuss a lot of topics within the age range of infancy to adolescence. We'll also throw in some current events, some current happenings as we talk about our children gearing up to go back to schools potentially, whether it be virtually or hybrids, and what impact is that having potentially on our field and the work that we're doing within those age ranges. That is my intention within this class as well. We are in 2020. It's been a crazy year, so it would be a disservice to me to not include that, as I have said before, and I'll continue to say. It's not to make you uncomfortable in a sense to make you frustrated or agitated or, angry, but it's definitely to rile up some feelings, some questions, some of those critical thinking skills that I'm expecting future social workers to have within the field of social work. So we're definitely going to dive into some current events in that frame. I'll also try to throw in some other current events as it relates to our social constraints and different perspectives within our society right now. So the overarching course goal is to demonstrate the interrelatedness of social, cultural, biological, and psychological factors at different stages of life cycle through the use of an ecological systems framework. So you'll notice that a lot of the frameworks that we talk about can also be discussed within sociology, within psychology, social work. So we'll tie in a lot of those developmental theories and models within this course. So I'm not going to discuss all of this because like I said, I do want to discuss this. So per the university, they do have some updated policies and resources that I wanted to talk about. COVID-19 statement. Part of Westchester University's response to the COVID-19 pandemic was to switch the vast majority of instruction to remote. This decision was made out of an abundance of caution to protect the health of all members of the WCU community. Faculty have been asked to make every effort to adapt their courses to this novel situation while still meeting the critical learning outcomes of the course. Students are asked to discuss any problems with the new course format and schedule directly with their instructors. Patience and flexibility on everyone's behalf are critical to our community's navigation of this public health crisis. For this particular course, the following alternative modalities are being utilized. We will have an asynchronous formatted learning with additional supplemental teaching materials provided electronically. I'm definitely going to try to make this as clear and concise of a semester for you all because we are in such unprecedented times. I don't know if me myself will be sick. I don't intend to at all. And I hope that you guys are all staying safe and well as well. If at some point in time you notice that your health becomes compromised or family members, I am more than willing and able to work with you. I just ask that you communicate with me. So we also have our academic and personal integrity statement. Students with disabilities, there are also still resources available to you. I understand that this is a new format, so there might be some changes within that, and I am a social worker, so I am also willing to meet you where you are. Excuse absence policies, we are in a virtual format, so you will not be required to physically come to class, but participation in your discussion boards will be reflected. And if you miss more than 3 of our discussion boards, you will risk failing my course. If you miss more than 3 discussion boards, you will risk failing my course. Our discussion boards are pretty much our classes. It's our class meeting times. That's my way of ensuring that you are actually participating and engaging beyond the course assignments. So if you miss more than 3 discussion boards, you are at risk of failing my course. You take that as you may. We also have some other policies and resources. Like I said, you feel free to go over those. There will not be any snow emergency canceled classes I anticipate unless maybe I'm stuck in snow, but I kind of record the classes when I need to. So there won't be any missed classes. Electronic email policy. Be sure to maintain respectful communication in all technology formatted communications, whether it be through our YouTube channel, our discussion board, emails, Zooms, because we will be utilizing Zoom for our group presentations. So just be mindful of the language that you're using. You are all professionals within this field, so that is the expectation. All right. I'm actually going to jump right ahead because, like I said, my expectation is you have read this or are going to read this. The required text reading is here, as well as some additional recommended textbooks. I will be providing a majority of your supplemental resources on D2L. So you will just be required to purchase our textbook, which I showed you at the beginning of this recording. So assignments. Our first assignment will be the social history assignment. This is my life. For this assignment, you will be exploring and examining how your social environment has influenced you and your family throughout your life. Complete a social history on your own life following the social history outline, which I will provide in D2L as we get closer to that assignment's due date. You are not required to answer all the questions in the outline, but to provide as much information as possible. You can draw on information from many resources, including your baby book, interviews with parents or other relatives, other people that you know, as well as family photos and videos. We are in a very interesting time. I encourage you all to be super creative with this assignment and gathering your resources and gathering that information, reaching out to people, just however you need to do that safely. There is a 5-page minimum, not counting your title and abstract pages. You do not need a reference page for this assignment unless you use outside sources of information that need to be cited. For example, if you use direct quotes from someone within your paper, that needs to be a cited reference. If you use a journal article, that needs to be cited. You will need to provide in-text citations for interviews you conduct, for example, with parents or caregivers. Again, that is an interview, so the expectation is there. The grading rubric for this assignment will be located in D2L, like I said, when the assignment approaches. This assignment is worth 15% of your total grade. Next, we have our life stage observation. So for this assignment, you need to complete one naturalist observation of individuals from one of three groups: pre-neonatal period, infancy, early and later childhood, or adolescence. So naturalistic observation is a study method that involves overtly or covertly watching subjects' behaviors in their natural environment. In this form of research, there is never any intervention, contact by the research, so you're just observing. Naturalist observation is a common research method in behavior sciences such as clinical social work, psychology, and sociology, among others. This technique is useful in that experts can witness the subject's behaviors in their own natural setting. But one disadvantage is that you cannot always be 100% certain what causes a person to react, behave in the way they do, considering the impact of unknown confounding variables. The actual observation should last at least 30 minutes and should involve people that you perceive to represent a racial, ethnic, or religious group that is not your own. Possible locations to complete the assignment include family-oriented events, field placements, work environments, and other safe, socially distant, appropriate locations. If you have other questions as to how you can ensure this 30-minute observation, please feel free to discuss with me. You can either reach out to me, I would prefer reach out to me via email. After you complete this observation, complete a 3 to 5 page paper. This is not including the title page, abstract, and reference page. This paper should begin by providing a summary of your observation and a discussion of any cultural differences from your own culture you noticed during the observations. Continue by connecting your observation to 3 different theories from your assigned readings. As we go through the semester, you'll get more theories to kind of dive into for this specific paper. The identity development PowerPoint presentation that will be located in our D2L class as well. Also include a reflection on any preconceptions or stereotypes you realize you had, as well as your own feeling and reactions to the observation. For example, what did you notice about yourself as you completed the observation? What feelings came up? What thoughts were on your mind, etc., etc. Continue your paper by connecting what you learned from this assignment to your future functions and roles as social workers. So as you're diving into our course, you should be thinking, what types of things might I be interested in within the field of social work, and tie it into that. This is expected to be an APA formatted paper. In fact, all papers are expected to be an APA formatted paper. And there are a host of resources available to you on YouTube, especially about how to format your APA paper. This paper is worth 15% of your total grade as well. Next, we have your reflection paper on the conscious parent. This article will actually be provided to you on D2L by myself, again, as we get closer. So I have this available to you. You will not need to purchase it. Instead of being merely the receiver of the parent's psychological and spiritual legacy, like we talk about in family systems in Social Work 300, children function as ushers of the parent's development. So format and write your paper based on the following questions and instructions. Do you feel that the spiritual domain for the biopsychosocial cultural spiritual model gets adequate attention in modern day social work practice? In modern day, I mean today. 2020, think about that. Why or why not? What benefits, if any, are there to exploring clients' spiritual beliefs and or religious practices? Pick any 2 chapters of our text plus chapter 17 of the 2 wings of the eagle from the book, and then at least 3 headings from each chapter to provide a critical and reflective analysis from 3 different viewpoints. These viewpoints should be as your parent caregiver's child, as a current or future parent caregiver yourself, as a future social work professional working with diverse clientele. Conclude your paper by drawing connections among the lessons provided by the book, The Conscious Parent, to the concept of the multi-generational transmission process, the Bowen theory, from Social Work 300 Family Systems. Literature about the multi-generational transmission process will be provided in D2L. This paper is expected to be a minimum of 3 pages, not counting those pages that we talked about previously. And again, use of APA formatting is required. This is 10% of your total grade. Group presentation. So for our group presentations, they'll look a little bit different. What I will do is I will actually assign the group members to each group. I will schedule a Zoom time for you guys to meet with me to do your presentation, and then I will record it. After recording it, I will make it available to your course peers, and they will be asked to give you feedback as part of the discussion board prompt for that week that the particular group presentation is presented. I hope that makes sense. So, group presentation topics will include the following life stages: prenatal period, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and young adult. Each group member is to identify a critical issue related to the life stage assigned to their group. Discuss the issue from the biopsychosocial cultural model of the course. Identify at least 3 evidence-based interventions used to address the issue, and design an advocacy or informational presentation that can be used in a community education project. For example, something that could be presented to a student organization, a youth group, a parent educational group, etc. So the components of this presentation should include an outline of key issues and/or developmental milestones, as well as best practice of life stage assigned. So incorporate information from the class textbook into your presentation. Discuss one empirical peer-reviewed research study that addressed your group presentation's focus. Integrate a diversity issue into your presentation. Discuss how race, class, sexual orientation, physical or mental disabilities, etc., present obstacles and/or resources to the individual. Include the discussion on about the impact of racism, sexism, heterosexism, etc., can have on individual development. Frame the discussion based on the strengths-based perspective. So you'll also be required to integrate material from 3 developmental behavior theorists related to your assigned life stage. I'll expect that you incorporate PowerPoint presentation within this. If you want to incorporate YouTube videos or other resources, feel free to. In addition, you'll be expected as a group to identify 1 clinical issue and 1 empirical-based intervention used to address the issue of concern. So we will be talking about how you can start to determine these things as we go through our course. Identify an advocacy issue related to your topic. What specific social action could be taken that would address the issue? For example, policy creations or change, letters written to local politicians, media outlets, workshops, educational resources, etc. So this group presentation is worth 20% of your total grade. We will talk about your group presentation in depth. Your assignment of your groups will be completed by this week. So you will find that in the announcement section of the D2L course by Friday. So you will know who's in your group so that you can start to reach out to them and collaborate how you're going to work on this. One great thing about all of us being in this current, stay at home, stay safe state is we're all forced to figure out how to collaborate with people in a virtual sense. So before you turn this into a, oh my God, how am I supposed to, what am I supposed to? You're a social worker, advocate for yourself, do your work, do your due diligence to connect with the people in your group before you reach out to me to assist you with that. People are expected to all participate within this group presentation, and it will be noticed as I'm looking at your Zoom. So there's no way to beat around it. So next up are your quizzes and final exams. So you will have 2 quizzes, which will be available to you on D2L. And you will also have a final exam, which will also be available to you on D2L. Some of them will be multiple choice. Your final will be open-ended question. So weekly quizzes will not be given. I need to update that to make way for the changes that are happening within our course. I decided that it would not be appropriate to do weekly quizzes in addition to expect you to do weekly reviews of our course content, of our lectures, discussion board prompts, and those sneak attack discussion board prompts that I'll throw in. So with that, to give you a piece of compassion and sympathy and empathy, I am going to switch that and make that 2 quizzes that you'll see the dates in the syllabus. Attendance and participation are mandatory. Again, you miss 3 discussion boards, you run the risk of failing my course. This is a required course for the program, for the social work program at Westchester University. So do not miss discussion boards. As you continue to review your syllabus, you'll notice that each week you'll see what readings are required and what assignments are due. So I try to keep this as organized as possible for you, not only on the syllabus, but also on D2L so that you can see the dates as they come up. So I hope that that was clear. If you continue to have any questions in relation to our syllabus, feel free to reach out to me. If it's specifically in relation to assignments, please note that I will discuss assignments individually on separate videos as we get closer to the date that they're due. So I don't want you guys to stress yourself out too much, but I will have those resources available to you. So we've navigated D2L. And we've also went over the course syllabus, and there's a cute little video if you guys want to look at it about the course syllabus for all those questions that you may have. This is the student. A couple questions. Okay. That's the professor. That would be me. Office hours. Yeah, I'll stop the video there because you can view it at your leisure, but most of the questions that you have, it's in the syllabus. If it's not, feel free to reach out to me. So this week at a glance. So for this week, you guys will need to first complete the discussion board sneak attack that you'll see available for you guys on the D2L section with discussion boards. In addition, please read chapter 1 section of the theoretical perspective on human behavior and the code of ethics in the profession of social work by Wednesday, because on Wednesday, the discussion board prompt will be posted at 4 p.m. on D2L. And you'll be expected to respond and reply to 2 pairs by Sunday at 10 p.m. Again, participation in discussion boards, all discussion boards are a must. So I'm going to end our lecture for today to give you guys some time to complete your discussion board, to start on your readings, and to get super excited for our semester. So hope you guys all have a great day. Continue to be safe out there. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.